Welcome back, everybody. Looking at part 2 of this little Coober Pedy gem. So you can see that I've just kind of freehand stenciled on something here. I drew many shapes and sizes on this. So you can see here there's a little bit of texture left behind. I basically use one of these fine permanent textures with a sharp tip, and I kept drawing. I reckon I drew 20-25 patterns. This video is so delayed just because I can't make up my mind on what I'm going to do. I have now. I'm going to go with a bit of a semi-teardrop shape piece that I think will make a reasonable size ring, probably on someone with smaller fingers than me. Not that I wear rings anyway. But what you can do with this is draw your shape, and if you make a mistake or you want to change it or anything like that, all you have to do is get yourself a little alcohol swab, so it's just 70% isopropyl alcohol, and you can wipe away all those markings. It doesn't damage the stone at all. I haven't had a stone that's been damaged by doing it, so feel free to draw to your heart's content because you only get to cut once, unfortunately. So experiment with the texture and not with your diamond bits. But yeah, this is the shape I decided on. There's a couple areas like here. I was going to do an oval that had this towards the tip, but it's already sloping off pretty hard there, so I have to cut that off. This edge is really sharp, so that's going to take a lot of rounding to get rid of, which is going to bring this inside a little bit. So it's going to bring it in a little bit by the time I dome it. So this is a bit of a overestimation on how wide this is going to be. It's really going to be back over here somewhere, I reckon, and curve around. But you can see here that I've put a straight line across. I'm just going to quickly snip through that, saw that off, because this tip, you can see here, is really odd shaped. And there's this huge spike which I was going to have to carve away anyway. I think you can still see the remnants of an oval that I drew in there. But the oval looked a bit too small, and with this much good material, I thought I have to extract the max out of it. So yeah, after about 40 different drawings, this is the one I settled on. I was also thinking of cutting it down the guts and getting a pair and then shaping those into some sort of earring, but with the two straight edges, it was too hard to work out how to get a nice shape for an earring. Whether it was just it was just a bit too much of a abstract piece. So keep it simple, I reckon. We're just going to get a really nice little drop, bit of a pear shape, or teardrop shape, more of a pear in this case. But yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, this is going to be the best looking offcut I think I've got in my offcut collection. It's going to be pretty small, but I mean, look at it. This is dry, by the way, so all this flashing is coming through. Give it a bit of a wet, and look at that. That is a fiery offcut if I've ever seen one. But in this design, that's actually a fairly large piece, so there is a chance I could do something with that. The piece is also pretty thick, so I've got heaps of space to play around with this. It's just this sharp point and these sharp edges on this side that are going to be a little bit annoying, and there's of course going to be a sharp edge over here as well, which is why I've made this so generous, because I know I'm going to have to dome it back to here, because I'm going to have to dome this back to here, and then it'll even up with that side. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut this off. If you want to see how that was done, I'd just refer to part 1. I don't really want to show it here because this video will get too long. But yeah, basically just going to use my diamond saw blade, which is still attached to my flex shaft. Here he is. So yeah, I'm just going to do a really quick snip off here and then I'll be back. Well, I've never seen this before, but after crying for about 24 hours, I'm ready to finally show you what happened. So the opal is, as you can tell, much smaller than I originally wanted it. So I cut off the bit down here to get the nice little teardrop pear shape. But when I cut it, I actually found a sand spot a little pocket of sand within the opal, fully encased, which I haven't actually seen before. And for it to happen in such a nice piece was absolutely devastating. So I basically just chucked it on a dop stick at that point, and well, looking at it now, it's dropped it all the way back to about 2 carats. So I think I've lost an extra half a carat there, snipping off the part that I didn't want. But yeah, finding that pocket of sand made me take off that extra half carat, and now it's only 2. And yeah, fairly small. It looks like I'm gonna have to go with a cushion cut in the end, just because of the 2 straight cuts that I've made. And now the size of it, I can't really get a nice... I mean, there's my finger there. It was gonna be a ring stone, now it's too small for that. So I think this may be one that I need to find a pair for, and then I'll make some earrings out of it. Because it's still a really nice piece, it's just much smaller. And yeah, so I've got this offcut here. Really nice gemmy offcut. It's probably actually better than the main stone at this point, it's almost just as big. And this is that major offcut that we made from that first slice in part 1. And together these two are another 3 carats or so. So yeah, very unfortunate. And as a result, I really am incredibly demotivated when it comes to cutting this one now. Let's add a little bit more light, that's probably too much. So yeah, a little bit demotivated, but I'll just go through the process from here, and yeah, well, I guess you see something new every day. Found a sand pocket within an opal. Normally you're finding the opal within the sand, but oh well. There was no sign of that sand being in there either. I literally just cut through, sliced, and then just saw on this side that there was a nice streak of sand across it. So it was, yeah. Cue the sad music. It was very sad. Still, what we've got is a wonderful piece. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is just quickly run through each of the Nova tips, starting with the black, going all the way through to the pink, and this one I'll still get to a full polish. I don't think I'll bother shaping it into the cushion cut at this point in time, because I'm actually uncertain on whether I want a diamond shape, because I think that'll work really well with the wire wrap. I know it's not a conventional shape, but for what I'm planning, it might actually be really good. So yeah, and if you're wondering how this is dopped because you don't see any wax, this is using the epoxy resin. I've got a video of that method on the channel already if you want to check it out. I've been using it now for a year or so after running out of the last lot of wax that I had, and it's just proven much more reliable. So probably the only one on YouTube that's actually using epoxy. But a lot of cutters that I know around Adelaide are using it as well, so it's really good. You should at least try it out and see if you like it more than the wax. It's a lot easier to buy, so definitely check out that video if you're interested. But chin up and get to the Nova tips. Well, it's turned around. It's small, but it looks amazing. It would have looked more amazing at 2.5, 3 carats. I'd estimate this is about 2 carats. So, lost a little bit. But have a look at him. .360 colour. This camera is not doing it justice at all. Camera upgrade will be coming to the channel as soon as humanly possible because you guys are actually missing out a little bit on this one. I'm looking at it through the screen and I'm seeing it come up a little bit. Oh no, it looks milky almost, but in person it's just beautifully vibrant. So this is what it looks like after the 3000 grit rose tip rose Nova point. And yeah, just full of fire. There's a little bit of blue-green there every now and then, but mostly it's just pretty dominated by the reds. Reds and oranges with a bit of blue. But yeah, unfortunately just a really small piece. If you have a look at it next to my finger, it's too small for a standalone ring, I reckon. So this will be more of an earring piece if I can somehow find a matching pair. I reckon that there's a couple pieces of potential that I could get something similar from. But all in all, this is the best one I've cut for a little while. And for a beginner parcel, this is pretty nice. This is much better grade than you'd expect to see in a beginner parcel typically. So you can get lucky. You do need to spend big dollars to get big gems though. And this was not big dollars, and so not a big gem. But you know, for what it is, keep it in perspective. It's quite nice, and that'll make one good earring. Unfortunately, one earring is not enough, so I'm going to keep an eye out for another one. I am going to practice doing a little bit of wire wrapping with this one, I reckon. I've got an idea for a ring. I mean, pinky finger. It might be okay for a pinky ring. Does anyone wear a pinky ring anymore? I don't think so. So, pretty useless. But for an earring, it'll be absolutely perfect. Yeah, unfortunately, not the size I wanted again, but it's good for any size, really. 2 carats. Now I need to find a matching 2 carat Coober Pedy with similar flashiness. And I'm well on my way. Well on my way to a set of earrings. So that's part 2 of this video. Part 3, I reckon I will do a detailed polishing with the cerium oxide on this. It definitely deserves it. I'll also save this footage for the future, and if I've still got this when I get a new camera, I'll show you the difference between the 2 cameras, because this is far better in person than what it is on camera. It looks like foil in person. Flashy foil. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Some highs and lows. We ended on a high. Thank the Lord for that. I was feeling pretty disappointed with that sand pocket. But it's paid off. So, I hope you enjoyed the ride. Part 3 will be coming right up.